OnePlus 15, iQOO 15, Realme GT8 Pro, OPPO Find X9, OPPO Find X9 Pro. It's raining Android flagships in November 2025. But if there's one champion among all the phones that I just mentioned, it has to be this one, the OPPO Find X9 Pro. I've already shared my first impressions of the phone when it launched globally. If you haven't watched that yet, go check it out. But today it's launching in India and I've had 20 days to push this beast to its limits. So here are my detailed thoughts 20 days later. Let's go. Alright, if you're watching me for the first time, I'm Asha. This is Trakin Tech English, your destination for detailed, incisive gadget reviews. Now, I want to start with the MediaTek Dimensity 9500 system on chip because this is the first phone that we've tested to use this flagship SoC. And of course, we've compared it to the Snapdragon 8 Elite Gen 5. Let's take a look at some synthetic benchmarks. So in Antutu, we got 3.7 million, which at the time of first impressions was the highest we'd seen. And now it's in the ballpark range of the Snapdragon 8 Elite Gen 5 phones. Now in Geekbench, the CPU single core and multi-core scores are higher in Snapdragon 8 Elite Gen 5 phones. The GPU, which is the ARM Mali G1 Ultra on the MediaTek Dimensity 9500 is on a different league altogether this year. In benchmarks like 3D Mark, Solar Bay, Wildlife Extreme Stress Test and Steel Nomad Lite, it was better than all the phones that we've tested this year. Yes, including the iPhone 17 Pro Max. It also ran cooler than the rest of the devices, sitting at around 39 degrees Celsius in Wildlife Extreme Stress Test. Now in our CPU throttle test where we engaged 40 threads for 30 minutes, we got about 63% CPU stability, which is on par for most flagship phones anyway. Now moving on from synthetic benchmarks to real world tests. Now in Genshin Impact, when we played the game for 30 minutes with the settings cranked to maximum, we got 60.3 average FPS and a peak temperature of only 37 degrees Celsius. This is very good performance. And in general, whatever game we threw at it, including Great Legends and Wuthering Waves, all of them work exceptionally well. So the takeaway here is plain and simple. The MediaTek Dimensity 9500 system on chip this year is really the underdog of flagship chipsets, especially the GPU performance is the best of the lot. Now as for the battery, you do get the largest battery inside a flagship if I'm not mistaken. It's a 7500 mAh silicon carbon battery and it's a split cell battery. It's one of the best performing phones when it comes to battery life that we've tested in 2025. We're easily getting anywhere between 9 to 10 hours of screen on time, but this is with very heavy usage. I'm expecting this phone to actually do 10 to 12 hours of screen on time. Charging is also pretty fast. You get an 80-watt charger inside the box with Superbook technology. You can expect that 80-watt charger to charge this 7500 mAh battery from 0 to 100% in about an hour. By the way, the settings offers 3 battery modes: balanced, power saving and high performance. And an ultra power saving mode is also available for critical situations, which significantly extends the battery life by limiting a ton of battery sucking processes. The phone also supports 50-watt wireless charging, by the way. So yeah, really fast wireless charging is also available. You know, earlier MediaTek phones generally used to have network problems. That's not true anymore. With the Dimensity 9500, the 5G modem is extremely powerful. It's extremely responsive. You also get Wi-Fi 7 capabilities, Bluetooth 6, NFC, everything that you need is there. Okay, now let's talk about cameras, the part which has me really excited. But for this, you'll have to take a seat, probably get a coffee, popcorn, because it's going to be a long one. So the primary camera on the Find X9 Pro is a larger Sony Lytia 828 sensor this year. It's a 1 by 1.28 inch sensor. There's also 50 megapixel ultra wide and finally the all new 200 megapixel Samsung HP5 3x sensor. And the selfie camera is also 50 megapixel camera with autofocus no less. Honestly, the primary camera is fantastic in well-lit conditions. It captures beautiful daylight photos because of the excellent dynamic range, by the way. This means I consistently got well-exposed bright areas and detailed shadows too. Yes, in my first impressions, I had mentioned that the HDR had some problems with highlights, which was sometimes overblown, but OPPO issued like a huge update and the performance has improved a lot. In fact, OPPO has been doing a good job with updates on the Find X8 series as well, and that continues with the Find X9 series too. There's also a fourth true color camera, and OPPO claims that it actually gives you results that are closer to neutral. In fact, if you look at it, the color reproduction is actually pretty good this year. It's dependable, and the auto white balance does do a very good job of giving you the correct kind of white balance. So a warm scene does look warm and a cool scene will actually look cool. Now the other advantage is that the detailed retention is absolutely fantastic because the camera app and the camera algorithm is very smart. Because it automatically chooses a high resolution shot, either 26 megapixel or even 50 megapixels. And I spoke about this in the first impressions video. This might feel strange at first, but it actually does make total sense once you start digging into it. So basically the camera is trying to give you the best balance of file size and detail by picking the right resolution depending on whatever amount of light is available or how much you're zoomed in. And we tested it quite extensively actually. We found that when clicking pictures, if you point the camera at the subject and immediately click the picture, it will render it at a lower resolution, but give the camera some time to settle before clicking the picture, and the results are insane because it shoots high-res shots. And if you want the absolute maximum, then you have the special Hasselblad high-res mode as well. Now with this, it defaults to 50 megapixels, but you can also push it to an insane 200 megapixels, obviously. I have to stress this, the 50 megapixel shots are ridiculously detailed. They're even labeled 8K Ultra HD in the gallery, and when I look closely at the samples, you can see things like tiny cobwebs or even the clear reflections in Arnav's eyes, which I did highlight in my previous video, and I'm just reiterating that here as well. This combined with the Lumo engine, you actually do get HDR capabilities, which is multi-stacking capabilities, not just at 12 megapixels, but also at 26 and 50 megapixels. And the Lumo engine is one of the reasons why the dynamic range has also improved a lot, and even the color science has been mastered to ensure that you do get closer to natural colors. The portrait shots are hands down one of my favorites on any phone that I've tested. Just take a look at that quality. The edge detection is also pretty good. The bokeh drop off is pretty natural yet subtle that sometimes even I couldn't tell the difference between a regular shot and a portrait shot. The macro mode is incredibly powerful, mainly because of the smart options that it gives you. You can choose between natural blur for a soft background or full clarity for maximum sharpness across the entire image. Now coming to the star of the show, the 200 megapixel Hasselblad camera. It has given me some of the most impressive zoom shots that I've gotten with a phone. The 3x performance is obviously really good, but even the 6x in sensor crop performance is so good that I didn't really feel the lack of a dedicated 6x camera which was there in the Find X9 Pro. In fact, the 200 megapixel camera exists for this specific reason, so you can crop in even up to 6x without too much loss of details. It has another significant advantage, and that is the wider f2.1 aperture and the large sensor. This combination allows the camera to capture light more quickly, leading to cleaner, more detailed shots. And the 9cm focusing distance is just a brilliant hidden feature. Now, like I mentioned, the macro mode just gets enhanced as a result by this. The macro shots that we got, some of them pretty stunning. Basically, with the Find X9 Pro, I can go up to 20x without having to worry about details or lack of details, by the way, and you will gently get a very good shot most of the time. Now, beyond 20x at zoom levels like 30x and 60x, you do have AI creeping into the picture. Sometimes the pictures do look good, but sometimes there are some artifacts that can cause some problems. But this is the case with most AI algorithms today anyway, especially the AI zoom algorithms. That's the only gripe I have, but the one major fix that OPPO has done with the Find X9 Pro is definitely the zoom capability, especially within the camera. When you're actually zooming across a range, you notice that there is a lot of stutter in the previous generation of phones, but that's not a problem with the Find X9 Pro. It's extremely smooth now. It's so smooth that sometimes you don't feel the lens switch at all. Now, while shooting images with the Find X9 Pro, I realized that I'm spending a lot of time inside the master mode. And the main reason for that is the way it handles skin tones. And the difference in skin tones between the master mode, the default mode, and the high-res mode is quite evident. And you can see that for yourself on the screen right now. Now, since I'm considering dailying this phone, I feel like I might not move out of the master mode. Now let's talk about some low light shots, because even in low light shots, the Find X9 Pro does do a very good job. The primary and the telephoto cameras handle low light quite well given their large sensors and wide apertures. It's very good, very detailed. And the new Lumo engine, which of course enables HDR as well. In fact, I must say that the Lumo engine is one of the main reasons why I'm enjoying using the Find X9 Pro's cameras. There are a lot of improvements to the kind of quality itself. And it's unfortunate that people don't really know too much about it. So please take a look at the samples and you'll know the kind of pictures that it can actually capture. Now let's talk about that 50 megapixel selfie camera. It's a huge step up from the 32 megapixel selfie camera on the previous generation, because you do get autofocus now. And it's such an underrated feature, right? Autofocus, because with that you do get quality of life improvements in selfies, because the selfies are constantly sharper and clearer regardless of whether you're taking the shot close up or holding the phone out at an arm's length. Even in low light, the selfies don't disappoint at all. In fact, they're really good. The selfie camera is also very capable for shooting videos, because you can do 4K 60 FPS video recording using the selfie camera, which is fantastic. Now let's talk about that ultra wide. You get a 50 megapixel ultra wide angle camera. We took a bunch of shots with the ultra wide and it's definitely pretty good, much better than quite a few other competitors that we've been testing lately. Now let's talk about video recording capabilities, and there are a bunch of upgrades to the Find X9 Pro. So you can shoot at 4K 60 FPS and even at 4K 120 FPS. Plus every camera supports Dolby Vision, and the Pro Video mode offers log videos for maximum editing flexibility. Now, by the way, one of the interesting things that OPPO has done this year is that it has introduced this teleconverter, Hasselblad teleconverter module, which you can attach using, it's actually, I'm not worried about this, it's actually very sturdy. You've got a case, you attach this case like this, right, to the phone. Once it just, yeah, all right, it just snaps in. You slide this in, and voila, you're done. You've got a teleconverter module. This is the first time I'm actually checking out a module like this. I know that some other brands have also tried it out, but this is also really, really cool, right? And with this, what you do get is extended zoom range, and it is perfect for, certain niche photography scenarios like street, of course. And if you're into wildlife and stuff like that, imagine just taking a very handy phone like this and adding this teleconverter module and just shooting away. So it's a solid metal attachment first of all, and it mimics a real Hasselblad lens, and it extends the optical reach to 230 millimeters. And the shots from it, we've taken a bunch and they look very, very impressive. I'd say that the Find X9 Pro's cameras overall, whether you have the teleconverter lens or not, is actually a truly flagship grade experience. Now, talking about the design, and I've spoken at length about it in my first impressions, and that impression stays. That's not changed much. Now, it's thicker and heavier than the Find X8 Pro, but that bulk is justified because you get a 27% larger battery and a larger periscope camera as well. And despite this, the phone does feel very good in the hand. You get flat sides, and it's a soft flat side as well. You get nice curved, rounded edges too. Plus, you get a flat finish on the rear. It's a proper boxy design, which is very comfortable to hold and use. Now, both the front and the back have Corning Gorilla Glass Victus 2 protection. You also get a pre-applied screen protector, and there's IP69 rating too. Now, the circular camera module from the Find X8 Pro is gone, but what you get now is this fused square camera module, and that is reinforced by metal too. I really, really like this design, honestly. You have to take a look at it to appreciate the beauty. It feels very premium now. Although the periscope lens inside, could be due to technical limitations, is misaligned and it's not dead in the center, which sort of kicks my OCD, but it's not too much of a problem if you ask me. OPPO has also added two new hardware buttons. There's of course the snap key, which basically integrates the Mindspace feature. You can single press for screenshot, you can long press for a voice note, and you can double press to open the Mindspace. But you can also customize the snap key to do whatever other than the Mindspace feature that you want. So that's good. And the second one is a dedicated quick camera button. You can single press to shoot, you can long press for burst mode, and swipe to zoom when in landscape. It works with extremely low latency, and it definitely works better than the iPhone 17 Pro Max. Now, remember how the Find X8 Pro had a fancy quad curved display? Well, the Find X9 Pro has a flat panel now, and you guys know how much I love flat displays. This is fantastic. It's a big 6.78-inch AMOLED 10-bit panel. It has 1 to 120Hz LTPO technology, which is of course great for saving battery. It also supports Dolby Vision, displays 1 billion colors. So content looks fantastic on this. Now there's one difference here though. With the Find X9 Pro, you get a 3600 nits of peak brightness compared to the Find X8 Pro's 4500 nits. But it's 4500 nits at 1% APL on the Find X8 Pro and 3600 nits at 20% APL on the Find X9 Pro. And you guys know it, 20% APL is definitely better, and 3600 nits therefore looks brighter. And even in daily usage, especially when you take it outdoors, the Find X9 Pro's display is super bright. You're not going to have any problem with it. Plus, when you're watching HDR content, especially the HDR gradation has been done exceptionally well. And the one area where the X9 Pro is also slightly better is for late night, doom scrolling on Instagram, because the display can go down to as low as 1 nits. And combine that with the 2160Hz of PWM dimming, the X9 Pro manages flicker much better, especially when you're looking at it at pitch dark. You also do get a very fast ultrasonic in-display fingerprint scanner, and the haptic feedback with the haptic motor tuning that you get is absolutely top tier. I absolutely love it. Now the stereo speakers do sound clean and detailed, not the loudest if you ask me, but take a listen to it for yourself and let me know what you guys think. Of course, it supports all of the high-res codecs like LDAC and LHDC, no problem there. Now, the Find X9 Pro runs on ColorOS 16 based on Android 16, and ColorOS 16, if you guys don't know, should also be the code base for OxygenOS 16. And I have a detailed comparison between these two softwares to highlight what's different between the two. If you haven't watched that yet, go check it out. Now, ColorOS 16 is a fantastic OS experience, but let me just highlight a few specific things that I want to talk about the phone. The most striking change is the gorgeous animation smoothness from the new full screen always on display to the home screen. It's all very smooth, by the way. And Flux Themes 2.0 also brings more customization, and the home screen now supports scalable icons and folders with shortcuts. All the AI features are now centralized, including the system-wide AI writer and the new Portrait Glow feature. And the Mindspace is now smarter with automatic categories and Gemini integration. In fact, the retail units of the OPPO Find X9 Pro is apparently going to be coming with a very clean install of OS experience, which is something that is very heartening to hear. Overall, like I've said, ColorOS 16 has to be one of the most goated OS experiences that you can find on Android flagships today. So after over 2 full weeks of testing, what do I think about the Find X9 Pro? The Find X9 Pro is that kind of a phone that will find a niche audience that will appreciate it both for its beauty and its brains. And you know what? The Find X9 Pro, compared to other phones that tend to be overhyped, is actually underhyped. It deserves more hype, especially for those cameras. I know a lot of people will call out the price, but come on guys, I mean, look at the kind of cameras and features that you're getting with the phone. The price is justified. And considering that I had more fun using the Find X9 Pro compared to something like the iPhone 17 Pro Max or the Pixel 10 Pro XL, both of which have been buggy messes for me, I think that the price is absolutely fine. Regardless, I love the phone. It's fantastic. I'm going to be recommending it to a lot of my friends who are actually wildlife photographers. I've just met a few recently, and I feel like they might actually enjoy the teleconverter module with the Find X9 Pro. Anyway, do you guys like the Find X9 Pro? What do you think of this phone? Let me know in the comments. And I'll see you guys in the next one. Until then, keep tracking and stay safe.